Well, thank you for tuning in. Another video. My name is Kepra. Today we are on the eve of the winter solstice, December 20th. The winter solstice, December 21st through the 24th, a 4-day phenomena where it is basically the solar new year. Why is this important? Well, this is important for so many reasons, such that I have done numerous videos, and before you watch this video, I would encourage you to watch those videos before you watch this video. I'm going to add another layer to it, and today what we're going to talk about is basically the difference between men and women in fasting, and look at it spiritually, astrologically. Okay, so that's the layer that we're going to add to it. But first, let's just rehash winter solstice. Winter solstice 4-day period, December 21st, December 24th in the northern hemisphere. Southern hemisphere is actually they're experiencing the summer solstice, so the exact opposite. So they're about to go, like in Brazil and South Africa, places like that, they're going into their summer season as we're going into our winter. You see, I got my winter coat on. It's really sub freezing temperatures out there. So yeah, so I'm really excited to share this information. This is, I feel like, one of the things that I feel really fortunate is just through my experiences and just living, being about this life. I just feel like I receive messages, and this is not anything that I've read in a book, but when it comes to me, it just makes so much sense, and I really try to trust that and use that in the information I share with you. And this is one of those things, we talk about fasting, because this is a time to fast. Why is this a time to fast? Well, very simple. The winter solstice, like the summer solstice and the equinoxes, are 4 pivot points. We got this winter solstice, spring equinox, summer solstice, fall equinox. It's like a square. So when you're driving along a square, when you come to that edge of that corner, you have to slow down. So that's what we have to do physically, spiritually, mentally, is slow down so we can, so as we're on that straight and narrow path, and then we come to that turn, just like you in a car, you come to the corner, you got to make a stop, or at least you have to slow down. So that's what in this time of the year we have to slow down, because, and even more so, this at this point, this is this as far as time to slow down, more so than any other point in the year. So it's very, very, very important, because it's just as important as going to sleep at night. Getting a good night rest is going to allow you to have a very productive day the very next day. Okay, so if we're really take this time to rest, and I know a lot of you, just in terms of the rhythm of the season, you're taking off work, the children are off of school, you're celebrating the holidays with family and friends, etc. However, a lot of us are maybe in too of a celebratory feasting, drinking, etc., where we really should be fasting, praying, meditating, reflecting on the past year, looking forward to the new year, the new millennia, the new decade, 2020. This is so exciting. So I'm really excited, especially with this information. So let's get to it. Today, the layer I want to add to this is men should fast with the sun and women should fast with the moon. Wow. Well, it's just very simple. I mean, if you look at the sun is the masculine energy, and the moon is the feminine energy. But I'm gonna take it a lot deeper, because really, just from my experience, for me, the moon. Number one, we look at the difference between the moon and the sun. What the sun does in one calendar year, 365 days, the moon does in 1 month. That's why it's a month. We have a month, and we have a year. Okay, and so what Basically, the moon makes a complete cycle in 1 month. It goes from new moon to new moon in approximately 28 days. Okay, and I'm going to explain. I mean, you probably know where this is going because a woman's cycle is what, 28 days. But let's slow down. With the sun, of course, let's just deal with the sun. You know, the sun being our brightest star, so bright, so when it's out, you can hardly see any other stars, with the exception of the moon, uh, de depending on where the moon is and so forth. So, but the sun is spiritually our ego. It's the king. It deals with our soul. It deals with our will. It deals with our drive, our vitality. The sun represents life. You know, we as raw food, we focus on sun food, you know, sun-fired food, food cooked by the sun. So the sun within us is that fire, is that will, that energy. But it also represents the conscious mind. It represents just our day-to-day. We rise with the sun, okay, and then we should fall with the sun, okay. But this time of the year, the sun is at its weakest point energetically. You know, we're getting the minimal daylight hours for the new year. So therefore, that direct correlation with our not only our vitality, our digestive energy. Digestion is the number one thing that the body. It's one of the biggest jobs. And if our digestion is at its weakest, then it makes sense. Like, look, you're gonna get sick. You're gonna have congestion, and it's not because of the cold weather. It's not because you didn't wear a hat. It's because your digestion wants to slow down. So everything is gonna move slower. Things are not gonna process as effectively or efficiently. So therefore, mucus is gonna build up. Mucus builds up. It travels. It settles in your lungs. It settles on your skin. You get dry skin. It produces nausea, headache, everything that will ail you. But for most people, definitely it's going to hit the lungs. The lungs is a large cavity, a lot of space. So mucus is going to go. It's going to fill those spaces, and it's going to make it. You're gonna have discomfort. So because your body is saying stop eating. Okay, drink more fresh juices, water. So it can keep it moving. All right. So it's very simple, very straightforward. But the sun represents if anything, it represents is the king. Okay, it's the king of the skies, the king of the zodiac belt in our solar system, and it's very important to realize, like as men, that's the masculine energy. It's the king energy. Okay, so it's directly gonna you know, we're in rhythm as men. When we're in rhythm with that energy, that's going to revitalize the king within us, that masculine vitality within us. Now, should women fast with the sun? They can fast with the sun, absolutely. But I'm going to explain why it's going to be more effective and more efficient for a woman to fast with the moon. Okay, and vice versa. Men could fast with the moon, fast on the new moon and the full moon, and etc. etc. But it's going to be way more effective to fast with the sun as men, as we see. We want to. Every man wants to be the king of some domain. Okay, whether it's our family, whether it's our job, whether it's, you know, you have a business, of course. So these are things that are, you know, really just insightful to understand. You know, we want to vitalize. We want to, you know, raise that fire within us. So we have to understand where the sun is at its weakest point. It's at its weakest point now. The moon energy is going to be more dominant now because the dark energy is more dominant. So let's discuss the moon. Everything I said about the sun, the moon is the feminine component. Where the sun is the king, the moon is the queen. Where the sun is the conscious mind, the moon is the subconscious mind. Where the sun is our will and our ego, the moon is our emotions. So really interesting what you say, because when you say you're going to do something, or the difference between what you say and what you do. The sun is what you say. The moon is what you do, because the moon is governing your spirit. Okay, it's just like you say, "Oh, I'm gonna fast," but the moon say, "I'm gonna eat," because that emotional body takes over. That emotional body is stronger than that ego body. That ego, like I said, is a lot of us is a difference between what we say and what we do. And the moon is what we do, because that's our spirit. That's our water. That's our emotions. It controls us. So but anybody study law of attraction, science of mind, understands that the conscious mind can influence, just like a man can impress and influence a woman. The conscious mind has to impress and influence the subconscious mind, or the will and the ego have to impress upon the spirit. So as we see, women are more connected to that spirit, just being a divine woman. And when we talk about fasting, fasting with the moon. Okay, so we all understand a woman's life cycle. How she gives life is connected with the moon. How is that not such an amazing phenomena? If there's nothing else that proves that as above, so below, we are connected to the sun, moon, stars, which is why I'm a student of astrology. I have to understand what's going on up there to understand what's going on down here. Okay? So I can better position myself to make moves with my family, my business, my person, to understand my strengths and weaknesses, to understand what season it is. Is a season for me to focus on my business, my relationships, all of the above. Okay, so yes, moon, 28-day cycle. A woman's cycle, 28 days, meaning that her new moon is when she releases the egg. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, the day that a woman or a little girl is born, wherever the moon is during that period, let's say a woman is born on a new moon. Woman is born on a new moon, then her new moon will always be in sync with the actual new moon. Or vice versa, let's say a woman is born on a full moon. Her new moon should be throughout her entire life, should be where that full moon is. So if let's say if one of my sisters is born on a full moon, then she should release her egg every time there's a full moon, unfertilized egg. That's amazing. Like, the body has that ability to be in sync and to be in that rhythm. But it makes sense. Okay? So let's talk about detoxification, and we're going to really key in on the women, and I'm gonna come back to the men. We didn't talk about detoxification with the men in terms of fasting with the sun, but let's talk about detoxification, because a woman's cycle, when she releases that unfertilized egg, that becomes a week of detoxification, where it should basically be a non-event naturally. If we were living with the rhythm of nature, it would just be a non-event. It would just be the release of an unfertilized egg. Maybe a little spotting, but now it's a major event. Women plan their month around that event. Women will obviously can't work during that event. All because the detoxification is so intense with that release with that release. So when a woman releases that egg, that's her new moon. And when a woman, when that egg, when when that egg is ready to be fertilized, that's her full moon. So for people using birth control, the rhythm method for birth control, the clock starts the first day she has her cycle, and then 14 days later, that is the time. If you're practicing natural birth control, then you wouldn't have sex. But just to diverge for a minute, nature has it so, like you're in a relationship with your lady, and she just happens to be more attractive. The energy starts bubbling a little more. So nature has it where we're going to continue the species, but that is okay. Let me go in this direction, because what to do? Obviously, for us men, it's pretty simple. We got 4 times of the year where we can fast, where we should be fasting. Definitely during this time. But for the women, it gets a little more intricate, because the moon cycles is a lot quicker. We have a complete cycle every 28 days. So every 28 days, especially during that week, you should be fasting. Because a logical question, and this was a question especially I had to meditate on, not being a woman. But just from my experience, seeing lots of women do this fast, should a woman fast with the actual moon in the sky, or should she fast according to her moon? Because a lot of times the moon is not necessarily going to be in sync. Like her new moon is not going to be during the actual new moon. So, but if her cycle is heavy blood flow, basically where it's shutting you down, your life has to stop, that's the time where you need to be fasting. So every 4 weeks, you want to be fasting at least 4, 5, 6, 7 days every month until this becomes something that is a non-event, something that is, whether you're not having bleeding, because again, it would be interesting. I mean, I always wondered, if I was a woman with my diet, would I be bleeding? Would I be having? I know I wouldn't be having the cramps and the PMS and all that other stuff. But I've heard from some women that they do, some women that they don't. I think doing this type of diet and lifestyle, probably the consensus is that they don't. Especially if they're eating a lot more fruits and vegetables. If you're doing more nuts and seeds and grains, I think you may bleed some. But again, women out there, if you're doing this, let me know. Tell me your experience. I'd love to know. So basically, as a woman, every 4 weeks, it's become an opportunity to detox, get your body together, especially women who want to get pregnant. Infertility is major. I've heard so many stories, women paying thousands of dollars trying to use the Western medical system to get pregnant. I mean, some of these methods sound so freaking Steinish, and it's just unbelievable. And we all know somebody who had fibroids. I mean, that is just it's an assault on the place where we all come from. It's amazing. So you want to become more fertile, or you just want to become more vital as a woman. Connect with that moon energy, that mother energy, that woman, that divine feminine is the moon. the moon has the, as an astrologer, you really become to understand that your moon energy, your moon sign is more important than your sun sign, because the moon energy has a stronger pull on you, the spiritual, emotional you. Like I said, the sun is what you say, but the moon is what you do. When you know somebody's moon sign, you know them. You really know them. You're not know you as a sun sign, you know what they're pretending to be. But the moon sign, you know what they really are. You know what they. I mean, you know them. Period. And so all of us, we can all fast with the moon, but especially for our women need to really connect with that moon energy. As the brothers, the men, we need to connect with the sun energy, and that's the divine harmony. Again, like I said, the sun is the king, the moon is the queen, and the queen we know is in control. All right, the king say he in control, but we all know when behind closed doors is the queen that we are about to, and this is no different. Okay, so yes, so I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like I said, I was very excited to come with this information and share this with you. This will be going in one of my future books, because like I said, I don't know anyone talking about this, connecting the physical and the spiritual with fasting, because it's all connected. When we understand, we're in harmony with the physical self, with the spiritual self, and understanding how to coordinate our eating, our fasting. This is what I call being in rhythm. We're in rhythm. We're very efficient. And when you're efficient, everything is in order. Your life is in order, and you're able to get the most out of not this body, but this life. Okay, so again, hope y'all enjoyed this. Please like it, share, subscribe, hit the notification. You want to get notified when I post a new video. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Please post your questions and comments below. I will respond when I can. I wish you all a prosperous, happy 2020. This will likely be the last video I do before 2020. But I want to wish you and yours the best and one love. Check me in February. I'll be returning to Jamaica to do a retreat. If you'd like to come, learn raw food preparation, get certified, get a reading, get your life, get the most out of this life, because we know it's a guarantee it's going to be cold here. So information and details is coming up on that. Check us out here in DC, Hamburger Cafe. Once again, I wish you all the best. One love. Peace.